Welcome to AfriLink Network Consult. Today our topic is Spanning Tree Protocol, STP. This election was conducted by the switches on their own. That is also not advisable. Ask me why. Yes, because root bridges must be high-end switches. They must be robust switches, very robust. MAC addresses are also assigned to switches over the period of time. So a switch which was manufactured about 10 years ago would obviously have a lower MAC address compared to a switch which was manufactured today. So if you leave the switches to do their own election, the low-end switch will win and will to become the root. Okay. So how do you enforce? How can you manually make a port or a switch to become a root bridge? You can alter the priority. Okay, you can alter the priority. So let's force this switch here to become the root bridge. We'll alter the priority. We have two choices. Go to the command prompt. Enable configure terminal. So we are in the global configuration mode. We have two choices to make. Either you manually lower the priority or you allow the switch to lower it for you. If you want the switch to lower it for you, this is the command. Spanning tree. For VLAN 1, spanning tree runs on VLAN basis. So supposing we create another VLAN 10, for instance, a new instance of spanning tree will run. A root bridge will be chosen for VLAN 10. Ports will be blocked for VLAN 10. You create another VLAN, a different instance of spanning tree will also act. Okay, we call it per VLAN spanning tree. So for every VLAN, spanning tree will run. Good. That is why we are insisting on VLAN 1. Spanning tree for VLAN 1. Root. Watch here, use the question mark. Root. What's the question mark? What do we see here? The options are primary and secondary. We want to choose primary. If you choose primary, the switch will lower the priority automatically. If you don't want it that way and you want to manually lower the priority, spanning tree for VLAN 1, priority, then you can choose a number. What did I do? Priority. So it says what? Enter values from 0 to 61440. Remembering that the increment should be 4096. Okay? So that is when you want to manually enter the priority. I prefer the first one. You also prefer the first one. You don't want stress. Spanning tree for VLAN 1. Root. Primary. Now let's see what happens. So you see that the ports are going red. BPDUs are being exchanged. This guy over here will realize that no, somebody has a lower BPD, a lower priority. My position is endangered. I may be kicked off. So let's wait for the network to converge. Then realize that this switch here will become the new I think it's converged. So you see a different port is blocked. Okay, this port is now in a blocking state. Let's check. Now let's confirm from here first. The former root bridge. Let's confirm. So what's the command? Show what?
Show spanning tree VLAN 1.
Show spanning tree for VLAN 1. Do we see any root bridge here? No, that's not a root bridge. Let's come here. And show spanning tree for VLAN 1. And what do we see? This is the root. We have a new root bridge. And watch. The priority has been lowered. Yes. It's been lowered. Automatically. So if you go to other switches, watch here. It says, this is the information about my root bridge. My new root bridge has a priority of what?
2, 4, 5.
That's it. So it received a BPDU from this switch here with all this information. So that's how you can force a switch to become a root bridge for a particular VLAN. Let's reverse it. How do we reverse it? Same command, configure terminal, and let me bring no in front of it. It's reversed. So let's wait for the switches to converge. Okay, let's verify to see whether this switch is still the root and show spanning tree for VLAN 1. Is it still the root? No. You don't see anything. Root here. Okay, let's go back to the former boss. Verify. Show spanning tree. It says, I am the root. Okay, I mentioned per VLAN spanning tree. That every VLAN you create, an instance of spanning tree will run. So let's create 2 VLANs on these switches. Remember, once we create the 2 VLANs, all these ports you are seeing here must be trunk ports. You understand? Because trunk ports carry multiple VLANs. So you are going to create VLAN 10, VLAN 20 on each switch, in addition to the VLAN 1s. Then we'll make this port you are seeing here trunk ports. Let's quickly do that. Configure terminal. VLAN 10. Exit. VLAN 20. Exit. Interface range. Gigabit 0/1 to 2. Switch port mode trunk. Let's save it. Be right. Okay. So let's come to this switch. Create 2 VLANs. VLAN 10. exit, VLAN 20, exit, interface range gigabit 0/1 to 2, switch port mode trunk, do right, enable, configure terminal, VLAN 10, exit, VLAN 20, exit, interface range gigabit 0/1 to 2, switch port mode trunk, save. So at this point, we are sure that 3 instances of STP are running on each switch. Let's check. Go to this switch. Let's come back. And now we are going to show spanning tree without specifying any VLAN. So show spanning tree, enter. Let's climb up. This switch says I have an instance of spanning tree running on VLAN 1. On that instance of spanning tree, this is my root ID. And this is the root bridge for VLAN 1. I have 2 ports. All these 2 ports are designated ports. And they are all forwarding traffic for VLAN 1. What do we see here? An instance of spanning tree for VLAN 10. And for that instance, this is the root bridge for VLAN 10. It has chosen that same switch as the root bridge for VLAN 10. And these 2 ports are forwarding traffic for VLAN 10. Let's go down. Okay, so looking at VLAN instance, STP instance for VLAN 20, this same switch here has been chosen as the root bridge for VLAN 20 traffic. You understand? Why is it that a particular port, a particular switch is being elected as the root bridge for every VLAN? Do you have any idea why? It's because of the criteria for choosing root ports. The criteria. Initially, we established that the lowest MAC address will always win the election. So when it was on VLAN 1, let's do it. Hold on. Let me bring this. So for the VLAN 1, we said this switch here has a MAC address of 22, isn't it? This one is 44. And this is 33. The MAC address doesn't change. If we have VLAN 10 on all the switches, VLAN 10 here, and VLAN 10 here, with the same priority for all the switches, plus a MAC address of 22 and a MAC address of 44 here, and a MAC address of 33 here. The priorities will cancel each other. True?
Yeah.
VLAN 10 on all the switches will also cancel each other. At the end of the day, the MAC address still stands out, and this switch will be chosen as the root bridge for VLAN 10. What about VLAN 20?
Same will be applied.
The same thing will be applied, so this switch will always win. Now, one bad thing is that port which is blocking this port here, which is blocking for VLAN 1, which was blocking for VLAN 1 initially, will be blocking for all the ports. Let's check. Currently, this port here is blocking for all the VLANs. For VLAN 1, VLAN 10, and VLAN 20 traffic. It is not a good thing, in the sense that there will be congestion on the primary link. Yes, supposing this switch here is in VLAN 10. Hold on, let me erase. Supposing this PC is in VLAN 10, and this PC is in VLAN 10. This port is blocking VLAN 10 traffic. So if the two PCs want to communicate, where will the traffic go through? Yes. Let's connect another PC to this switch in VLAN 20. Another PC to this switch in VLAN 20. This port is still blocking VLAN 20 traffic. So for the two PCs to communicate, packet will go through this link here. Keep on creating VLANs. Supposing we have 10 VLANs on this topology, all of them are going through, leaving this link here idle. There will be congestion on this link. And it's not a good thing. So let's see how we can leverage on STP to load balance. If I say load balance, for these two VLANs, VLAN 10 and 20, we can make VLAN 10 traffic to use this link, and VLAN 20 to use this link. Let's see how we can do that. So now that we have created two additional VLANs, let's check for the blocking. Show spanning tree. For VLAN 1 instance of spanning tree, what do we see here? Port 2 is blocking. Every VLAN 1 traffic cannot use this link here. Okay? Let's go down. For PCs connected to VLAN 10, port 2 is still blocking traffic from any PC connected to VLAN 10. So if a PC is connected to VLAN 10 here, it cannot use this link here. It's blocking. What about VLAN 20? The same port 2 is blocking. There's imbalance here. This link is idle. There's congestion on the primary link. Let's see how we can use STP to load balance. So here, what we are going to do is, we will make this one the root for VLAN 10.
Okay.
Come here and configure this one as the root for VLAN 20. You understand? So if this is the root for VLAN 10 traffic will be blocked here. VLAN 20 traffic will be blocked elsewhere, maybe here. But if this port is blocked for VLAN 10, it will allow VLAN 20 traffic to pass through. If this port is blocked for VLAN 20, it will allow VLAN 10 traffic to pass through. That's the beauty of it. Okay, so we are going to this switch. Configure spanning tree for VLAN 10 root primary. Come to this switch. Spanning tree for VLAN 20 root primary. Let's do it. Are you enjoying the course? All right. Enable configure terminal spanning tree for VLAN 10 root primary. Let's save. Come here. Configure terminal spanning tree for VLAN what? 20 root primary. Let's wait for a while for the network to converge. Whilst we do that, let me assign ports to the VLANs. Okay, let's forget about VLAN 1. I'm going to assign some ports to VLAN 10 and VLAN 20, and I'll connect devices there so that we can do some pinging. Okay, so come here, enable configure T. Interface range F0/1 to 10. Let's keep to the round figures. Switch port access VLAN 10. Exit. Interface range F0/11 to 20. Switch port access VLAN 20. Let's save. Do the same thing here. Interface range F0/1 to 10. Switch port access VLAN 10. Exit. Interface range F0/11 to 20. Switch port access VLAN 20. Let's save. So we can connect devices. I'm sure this PC is connected to port 1, so it's in VLAN 10.
Yeah.
Let me add another PC. This is also connected to port 4, so it's in VLAN 10. VLAN 20 PC, let me connect it to port 14. VLAN 20 PC, port 16. Let me just add some colors to make the PC stand out. So for the VLAN 20, I'm using color green. This way, we know these two pieces are in VLAN 20. Let me choose a different color for VLAN 10. Like this. We have to choose a subnet for VLAN 20. Let's keep this subnet for the VLAN 10 traffic. Okay, so that is for VLAN 10. For VLAN 20, let's make it simple. 192.168.2.0/24. Let's keep everything simple. So we can assign IP addresses to these pieces here. Let's assign the first IP address to this PC. 192.168.2.1/24. Again, no need for default gateway. (192.168.2.2) and the default gateway. Okay. So let's check. Let's do some checks to see which ports are blocking for each VLAN. Let's come to this switch again here and do some checks. And show spanning tree. I didn't specify any VLAN. Because I want the output for all the VLANs with the exception of VLAN 1. Okay, so let's drop down to VLAN 10. For VLAN 10, this is the information that I have. This is not the root bridge for VLAN 10. We can't see anything. This is the root here. Okay, but for VLAN 10, we can be sure that port 2 is blocking VLAN 10 traffic. Port 2 is blocking. Where is port 2? Here. So if these two pieces in VLAN 10, let me indicate VLAN 10. VLAN 20. VLAN 10. And VLAN 20. For these two pieces in VLAN 10 to communicate, the traffic cannot move on this link. It's blocking for VLAN 10 traffic. Okay. This port blocking VLAN 10. But is it blocking VLAN 20? Let's go down. On the same switch, it says more, so it means we can go down, correct?
Yeah.
For VLAN 20 instance of STP, what is port 2 saying? It's forwarded. So these pieces here, for them to communicate, the traffic can go through port 2. You see the beauty of STP? Let's come to this switch here and do some checks. And show span tree, enter. For VLAN 10, what do we see? All the ports are forwarded for VLAN 10. Correct?
All the ports?
Yes. Port 2 and port 1 gigabit. We are on this switch. Remember, this port is blocking for VLAN 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go down. For VLAN 20, what do we see? Port 1 is blocking for VLAN 20. Where's port 1? Here.
Yeah.
So let's come back to this and indicate there. This port blocking VLAN 20, but allowing VLAN 10. This port here is also blocking VLAN 10 and what?
Allowing VLAN 20.
Allowing VLAN 20. We have created load balancing in the network. Okay? There's load balancing. So right now the traffic will not be congested to just one link. Let's be very sure. Let's do some pinging using the simulation. Okay? So click on this simulation here and pick packets from here. Drop it for, okay, there's already a packet there. Let's click on play and see where the VLAN 10 traffic will pass. It will obviously not go through here because this port is blocking. You see where it's going? Yes. It's going through the top. It will come down. Yes. What about VLAN 20? Let's pick a packet here, drop it here, and drop it here. Let's see where the packet will pass. for the VLAN 20. Remember, this port is blocking for VLAN 20.
Yeah.
And this port is allowed.
VLAN 20.
So let's watch. Okay, watch. Trace the packet. It comes here. There we go. This port is allowing VLAN 20 traffic. So you see, we have created load balancing in the system. We call this one per VLAN STP. Anytime you create several VLANs on switches which are running STP, you have to be careful. You have to know that there can be congestion because one particular switch will be chosen as the root bridge for all the VLANs. And one particular port on a different switch will be blocking all the VLANs. We don't want that to happen. So you have to create load balancing by not keeping one switch as a root for all the VLANs. So per VLAN spanning tree is captured. That brings us to the end of our lesson, STP. Thank you for coming.